All right, Charlie, you know in our discussion that I love white space. People see white space and they fill it. I love it. There's not just a dearth of hospitality at Augusta. There's almost no hospitality at Augusta. So quickly, if you can, just give me the story of how the Double Eagle Club came about.
So I think it's like 1990, and we're doing a series of television shows across the country previewing all of the biggest events in sports. We call it the Major Event Preview Series. We hadn't done the Masters yet, and I wanted to do the Masters. So I asked a great friend of mine, a legendary golfer, a guy named Ken Venturi, if he would introduce me to the people at Augusta National, which is literally 50 feet from us. And he did, and I went down, and I came down, and I had a lunch with them. And as far as I was concerned, being in the club, having lunch in my 30s was the big W. I had won. I didn't really care what they said, but I was hopeful. Anyway, as I got up to leave, they said, "Yes, we'll go ahead and do it." And I found out later it's because of a very, very special relationship they had with Ken Venturi. So we did our first show at a restaurant that was down the street here called the Green Jacket Inn. It was a bar. And we brought over like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Lee Trevino and all of these legends, all these great, great players, Peter Jacobson. And we had a great show, and we had a lot of fun with it. The next day I went over to Augusta National to the Masters for my first time. I'd never been. And it didn't take me but a couple of seconds to see that there was no on-course hospitality, which was rare. And so what I did is, not knowing any better, I called over the general manager right in the middle of the tournament. He picked up the phone, which was great. And I said, "Do you have any intention of doing hospitality on the grounds here at the golf course?" And he said, "Nope, we just take care of our members. That's it."
How surprised were you at the note? Because you know the value of hospitality.
That surprised me, but it didn't surprise me what their position was, because that's kind of the Augusta way.
Yeah.
We're going to take care of our members. We provide a good enough experience for everybody else. We don't have to do really much more than that. I got it. It made sense. So I asked them, "Can I have your permission? Is it okay with you guys if I go ahead and create something?" And they basically said, "Go right ahead." So I came across the street here and took two steps. I started over here at the Piggly Wiggly grocery store. That was only okay for a lot of reasons. But then we found out that this building was for sale. So we bought this building. And one of the things we did with our friends at Augusta National is we had them name the club. We sent over 3 names, and we let them pick double. We were hoping they would pick double eagle.
Ferocious protectors of their intellectual property.
Well, actually, we had started off as the Augusta Club.
No.
And they didn't think that was a good selection. They didn't think
Nice try, but no.
They didn't think that was our best option. So I said, rather than me guessing, why don't I send 3 names over? And in the spirit of being a good neighbor, and so they picked Double Eagle Club, which is in honor of Gene Sarazen. Gene Sarazen made a double eagle in the 30s or something, and it was a front page story in the New York Times, and it literally put the Masters on the map. So we like the name Double Eagle.
Give me what people really want to know. So who comes here and how much do they pay?
So who comes here is business executives. They bring their best customers. So it's software companies, it's media companies, it's financial services predominantly. They predominate. They bring their best clients, and then we invite our best friends in the business and some of our best friends, because it's such a great experience, and we love sharing this with our friends, with our clients and customers, and we love seeing our customers, our members here at the Double Eagle Club, being able to share it with their best clients and customers and friends. This is the one place in the world, I challenge you to tell me if there's another, where there's 40 or 50, there's probably 50,000 people on the golf course today, and everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy. Everybody tonight, when everybody starts coming back from the day, and this place will be rocking until 9 o'clock at night or later, and everybody's happy, everybody's smiling, everybody's having a great time.
I was the one guy with no smile. So out of shape, I was hoofing it up past 10, and I started to sweat, and I was like, uh-oh, I really got to lose some of this.
That's right, exactly. That's part of the experience.
What's it cost? How much? What can you tell us about what's
We
this cost?
kind of don't like to talk about it, if that's all right. But,
of course.
But we've got, I can tell you, we've got about 200 members. It varies. Some days we keep it about, we don't want to go over 250, so we keep it to 200 to 250. It varies. Monday, Tuesday's a little lighter. The biggest days, it might be interesting, the biggest days are Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday for the par three, before the tournament starts.
And before the weekend.
And then Friday, because at night, Friday night, there's a lot of guys that got to go home and be with their families, which makes a lot of sense. So it's a little bit of a different crowd on Saturday and Sunday. But those have become the two biggest days.
All right, lastly, for you, as a real estate aficionado,
yes, sir.
I had a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, and my neighbor had a studio. I had my eyes on it forever. How can I break through?
I'm gonna connect them.
I'm looking left. I'm looking right. The ministry's right here. Any expansion plans, desires, possibilities?
So here's how we've rolled. So the farmer who lived next door came over here 20 years ago and said, would you like to buy my house? And I said, no, thank you. No, but I know somebody that would. And I called over to Augusta National and they bought it that afternoon. The next, it could have been 2 or 3 years later, the owner of the gas station on this corner came walking over, overalls and everything, and said, would you guys like to buy my gas station? Well, I said, now how much? We wanted a little too much, I thought, for the property, and it was going to be a big renovation. And we didn't really need it, because we really wanted to we didn't want to make this thing we didn't want to make it a Super Bowl party. We wanted to keep it very elite and exclusive. So I said, we're not going to buy it, but I know somebody that will. And they called over across the street, and I think they bought it that afternoon.
So it was good. It behooved them to be so nice to you. Their real estate empire expands because of you.
And they have since bought everything up and down Washington Road. What's interesting is now where the gas station was, there are 6 or 7 mobile homes with players living in it this week. So right over there, Tom Watson is always over there, and Bubba Watson. Maybe it's the Watson corner or something, but that's what happened.
And I have to apologize ahead of time.
Yes.
You may get one complaint from one of your customers.
Which one would that be? What complaint would it be?
Well, I was sitting at the Qualtrics table.
Yeah.
So I sent a picture of me at the table to Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
Just saying thanks for use of the table. He may send you a note saying, where's the security, my friend?
Exactly right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, man,
Appreciate
that was
it.
great.
Hey,
Thank you.